Arabia and where the U.S. fits in with Ryan Mauro. He's a national security analyst at the conservative-leaning Clarion Project and a professor of counterterrorism at Liberty University. Ryan, good to have you with us. Ryan, as we discussed, the Senate voted to withdraw U.S. military aid for Saudi Arabia's war in Yemen. The president has vowed to veto this measure. But here's the core question. Is it possible to scold or rebuke Saudi Arabia without essentially helping Iran?
Yes, if you just state it publicly and you embarrass the Saudi government for doing something that you disagree with, but then you move on and you don't jeopardize the security of the United States and the globe in the process, then that would be a reasonable balancing act. But instead, what we're getting from Congress is something that is, in my opinion, remarkably stupid and remarkably dangerous, because the scenario that you have now is either Iran controlling a part of Yemen, threatening Saudi Arabia and threatening the shipping lane for the Red Sea. So there's two shipping lanes that Iran is threatening the global economy with, or the Saudis fight the Iranians and their proxies, and you support that. So there's really no strategic gain for the United States in cutting off support to the Saudis for this. You can pressure them in other ways, but the way we're going about it supports the Iranian-backed terrorists, and I would add it also jeopardizes the potential future of Saudi Arabia to become more moderate and open to the outside world for various reasons. So I think this is being handled really terribly.
I hear you, and it seems evident that the U.S. not helping the Saudis doesn't exactly help end the war in Yemen, just emboldens Iran. But could this perhaps lead to some kind of diplomatic solution? We heard from our reporter, Nina, that some progress has been made on that front. Could that be something that could actually happen?
Well, if I was a member of the Iranian-backed Houthi rebels, I would be looking at this and saying, you know what, I'm going to fight harder because I have a better chance of getting some type of concession that I want. Because now it will look like the Saudis and their coalition are on the losing side, and so they should fight more because they're going to get more. The U.S. is going to be pulling support. Furthermore, the key argument about humanitarian aid it has been really critical in this, and what they say is that the U.S. backing of the Saudi offensive in Yemen is leading to a lot of civilian deaths, and that may be so. But if the U.S. pulls support from the Saudi coalition, then the Iranians and the rebels fill that gap. You really think that's going to improve the humanitarian situation? It's not going to.
No, I don't believe it is. And there's been all this focus on the Saudis' role in this, and now there's even more evidence of Iran's backing of the rebels and its involvement. The UN Security Council was given a report by the UN yesterday showing that anti-tank missile launches found in Yemen were, in fact, manufactured by Iran in 2016 and 2017. So very recently, and just further confirmation of Iran's involvement here. Ryan, what do you make of the fact that there doesn't seem to be a call, at least from the Europeans and others, to take tougher action against Iran?
It's because politicians react to the political environment, and the political environment is dominated by news coverage. And this whole situation with the allegations against Saudi Arabia, that's dominating the news cycle because it's kind of a dramatic story. It's one that people want to hear about. And so that's what they're reacting to, rather than to the more significant news about Iranian meddling in the region and the strategic consequences of all this. The Saudis had been moving forward with a plan to modernize northwestern Saudi Arabia, which would bring in outside influence and actually give us some type of strategy for undermining the extremists within Saudi Arabia, without undermining the Saudi government. Saudi Arabia has been very difficult for us to handle, and so we had an opening. But if the Iranians succeed in Yemen and even start causing chaos in southern Saudi Arabia, as it looks like is going to happen, then that program by the Saudis to open up incrementally and allow outside better influence into the country, that may not be possible. So this is jeopardizing the future of Saudi Arabia, and I would say even emboldening the Sunni radicals within Saudi Arabia.
Ryan, thank you so much. Ryan Mauro, appreciate it.